Welcome back to Star Zodiacs, your guide to the stars and everything they reveal about our inner world. Today, we're diving into something truly powerful, the story of Chiron in Cancer. Have you ever felt like your heart needed a home? Or that no matter how much love you give, there's still a part of you that feels a little empty? If that sounds familiar, this episode is for you. Chiron in astrology is known as the wounded healer. It's not a planet, but a small celestial body discovered in 1977, orbiting between Saturn and Uranus. Even though it's small, its impact in your birth chart is massive. Chiron shows where we've been hurt the most, but it also shows where we can grow, heal, and help others because of what we've learned from our own pain. If your Chiron is in Cancer, your deepest wound lies in the world of emotions, family, and feeling safe. But the beauty is this: your path to healing can turn you into a nurturing light for yourself and others. So stick around until the end of the video, because we're not just revealing 10 key traits of Chiron in Cancer, we're also giving you a bonus insight that ties it all together. You won't want to miss it. Let's begin our journey into understanding this emotional healer of the zodiac. Abandonment. The first and most noticeable wound for those with Chiron in Cancer is the fear of abandonment. This wound often stems from early childhood experiences where love may have been inconsistent, unpredictable, or missing altogether. Maybe a parent wasn't around emotionally or physically. Maybe you were given food and clothes, but not the emotional hugs and safe words you needed to feel truly loved. As a result, a deep fear takes root. You might grow up always looking for people to stay. You try hard to be what others need so they won't leave. But that fear never quite leaves your side. You may find yourself clinging too tightly to friends, partners, or even your own children because the thought of being left again is just too painful. This is the Chiron wound at work. But here's the good news: once you recognize this pattern, you can start to heal it. You can begin to offer yourself the stability and love you've always craved from others. You can become the home you never had. Vulnerability. People with Chiron in Cancer often struggle with vulnerability. To them, showing emotions feels dangerous, like opening the door just enough to let someone in, only for them to hurt you once they're inside. You might have learned that crying or expressing hurt brought criticism, punishment, or silence. So, you became strong on the outside. Tough. Maybe even cold. But deep down, you feel things so intensely. You want to open up. You want to trust. Yet each time you try, that old fear creeps in: what if I get hurt again? So, you hide. You protect. You pretend. Learning to be vulnerable without feeling broken is your challenge and your gift. Because when you slowly begin to share your truth, even with just one safe person, you create a powerful space of connection. Others begin to see your true beauty, not in your strength, but in your softness. Home. The idea of home means everything to someone with Chiron in Cancer, but it's also where the pain often lives. Maybe your home life as a child didn't feel safe. Maybe there was yelling, silence, or the feeling that you didn't belong. Maybe your physical home changed too often, or you felt like you had to earn your right to be there. So now, you chase the feeling of home everywhere. In relationships, you might try to build the perfect family. You decorate with cozy touches. You cook meals, light candles, and try to create what you missed. But even with all of that, something still feels off. Because the real home you need isn't on the outside, it's inside you. Healing your Chiron means finding a sense of home in your own soul. It means learning to feel safe in your own body, your own heart, and your own presence. When you do that, the outside world begins to feel more welcoming too. Mother. Chiron in Cancer often carries a wound connected to the mother figure. This doesn't always mean your mom was bad or unloving. Sometimes she was absent. Sometimes she was overwhelmed. Sometimes she tried her best, but it didn't feel like enough to you. This can leave a scar, one that says, "I'm not worthy of being cared for." You might grow up needing to mother others, even when no one asked you to. Or you might reject mothering altogether, pushing people away if they try to care for you. Healing begins when you realize that your mother's actions weren't about your worth, they were about her own wounds. And now, you get to choose something new. You can repair it yourself. You can give yourself the kind of love, attention, and forgiveness you needed as a child. That's where the true transformation begins. Safety. For Chiron in Cancer, emotional safety is everything, but it's also what you may have lacked the most. Safety doesn't just mean being protected from harm. It means being able to express your feelings without judgment. It means knowing that you won't be shamed, ignored, or punished for just being you. If this wasn't part of your early life, you may have developed a defense mechanism, being overly careful, walking on eggshells, or trying to please everyone just to avoid emotional conflict. You might find it hard to trust people or environments. You might feel anxious in relationships, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Healing this wound involves creating environments, both inner and outer, where you feel secure. This may include therapy, supportive friends, or even rituals that help you ground your emotions. The more you build this safety net, the more you feel free to be your full self. Sensitivity. Chiron and Cancer people are incredibly sensitive. This isn't a weakness. It's your strength. You pick up on other people's feelings without them even saying a word. You can sense shifts in energy, mood, and tone. But when you're unhealed, this sensitivity feels like a curse. You might get overwhelmed easily. Crowds, arguments, or even sad news can knock you off balance for hours or days. You may try to shut it all out just to survive. But that's not the path of healing. The real healing comes when you embrace your sensitivity. When you stop seeing it as something to fix and start seeing it as something to use. Because this gift allows you to comfort others, to listen deeply, and to create peace in a chaotic world. You are a natural empath, and that's magical. Protection. Because of their deep sensitivity and history of emotional hurt, people with Chiron and Cancer often become emotional protectors. You might build walls, not just for yourself but for others too. You take on the role of the shield. The guardian. The silent strength. Sometimes this makes you the rock in your family or friend group. Everyone leans on you. But inside, you feel tired, unseen, or even resentful. Because while you're busy protecting others, who protects you? The healing journey involves learning when to put the shield down. You don't always have to be the strong one. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to rest. Letting someone else hold you, even just for a moment, is a powerful step toward healing your Chiron wound. The longing. One of the deepest desires of someone with Chiron and Cancer is the feeling of belonging. But because of past emotional wounds, this feeling often feels just out of reach. You might have felt like the odd one out in your family. Like you were too much or not enough. That feeling can stick with you long into adulthood. You might try to fit in by changing yourself. You smile when you want to cry. You say yes when you mean no, you become a chameleon, hoping that if you blend in, you'll finally feel accepted. But healing this wound means realizing you don't have to change who you are to belong. The right people will love the real you. The quirky you. The emotional you. When you finally accept yourself fully, you create space for others to do the same. That's when true belonging begins. Healing. The beauty of Chiron and Cancer is that once you begin your healing journey, you become a light for others. Your pain becomes your power. You begin to understand what others need, not because you read it in a book, but because you lived it. You may become a caregiver, a counselor, a teacher, or simply a friend who listens with compassion. You offer warmth in a cold world. You offer softness in hard places. And the more you give that love to yourself, the more you can give it to others without draining your spirit. Healing doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means the pain no longer controls you. It becomes a part of your story, not the end of it. And that story can guide others home. Intuition. With Chiron in Cancer, your intuition is incredibly strong, but it may have been ignored or shut down when you were young. You may have been told you were too emotional or that your feelings didn't make sense. So, you learned not to trust your gut. But your intuition is one of your greatest gifts. It helps you navigate life with wisdom. It lets you sense what's wrong before it becomes a problem. It shows you who to trust and where to go, if you're willing to listen. Part of your healing is learning to trust your feelings again. To listen to that quiet voice inside that says, "This is right," or "This is not okay." Your intuition is not weakness. It's guidance. And the more you honor it, the more powerful it becomes. Legacy. Here's the bonus insight for Chiron in Cancer. You are here to leave a legacy of love. Your journey wasn't just about surviving your pain, it's about transforming it into something lasting. You're meant to build emotional foundations that outlive you. Whether it's through your family, your community, or your words, your story becomes a healing force. Your softness, your care, your ability to love deeply, these are the treasures you leave behind. And even if you never received those things in childhood, you now have the power to give them, not just to others, but to yourself. Chiron in Cancer is not an easy path. It asks you to walk into the places where your heart has been hurt the most. But in doing so, it gives you the chance to become something rare and beautiful, a healer, a nurturer, a safe place in a chaotic world. Your wound may have started in childhood, but your healing creates ripples that last a lifetime. Remember, every step you take toward healing yourself also helps the world heal a little more. So keep going. Keep growing. And never forget, you are your own home. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon with more exciting astrology-related videos. Until then, continue to make your mark on the world. Remember, greatness knows no limits. Be sure to leave a comment on which of these traits you relate to the most or to suggest our next video topic. We try to respond to every comment left by you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more astrology content. Until next time, keep reaching for the stars.